Head, neck, backbone straight. This is a position where we come out of tamas, and that is our today's symbolism. Holika must burn our tamas. Action is better than inaction. Even though it is wrong, it is still better, but inaction is worst. Not doing anything is worst in life. Then we get into action, karma, and then we get into right action. And then that right action leads to sattva, and then we go beyond sattva. So let us pray that Holika Devi burns all our tamas, and then tomorrow our mind becomes colorful, because the chapter what we are discussing is about mind. How to tune this mind so that we can receive happiness. We can tune this mind to God. We can tune up this mind to harmony, love. So it all depends upon the tuning up of this radio, as Gurudev says. Let us bring our mind in the present moment. This is one sadhana we have to do always. Whenever mind goes into stories, imaginations, memory, they say the moment is lost in memory and imagination. Let us chant loudly so that semi-conscious, unconscious thoughts lingering in the mind run away, listening to the loud sound. And that is one reason why there is loud sound in temples, bell sound, chanting sound, singing sound, so that all other thoughts vanish. Some people get irritated by loud sound going on in the band baja or in the temple, but one of the reason is that all other thoughts must be vanished. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Akhanda mandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam tatpadam darshitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Arjnanatirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Stavaram Janghamam Vyaptam Yat Kinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam vyapiyat sarvam trailokyam sacharacharam tatpadam darshitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्.
Vidya, we can chant first and second.
Okay, sir.
First and second sutra of Mind Your Mind. That is a chapter we are dealing with in Jivan Sutrani. And this is the last chapter. So the first and the second sutra we will chant.
Yeah. This is the Kama Krodhadi, right? That one. Yeah. Kama Krodhadi. Let's see. Kama Krodhadi Vikaranam na Vashamagachet. Kama Krodhadi Vikaranam na Vashamagachet. Verse number 2. Manashanti Viveka Nidhehe Nashakatvat. Manashanti Viveka Nidhehe Nashakatvat.
So, Pujya Gurudev has mentioned, as the mind, so the person. The most valuable thing in this life is our mind. So that is one of the important Mahavakyas for us. Whenever we want to trade off anything, whenever we are transacting, whenever we are dealing in life, one important rule for us is that I will not lose my peace of mind. Whether it is family, whether it is job, whether it is business, or whether it is any transaction or interaction, I will not lose my peace of mind. I will not trade off my peace of mind. Actually, my peace of mind and joy must enhance after marriage, after doing a job, because I am happier. I am happy before doing a job and before marriage. Suppose you have a doubt on this, see your 16-year-old, 20-year-old photograph. How you were looking, how happy, cheerful, bubbly we look when we are 16, 20, and then what has happened now. So Guruji is going to have one sutra on this. So whatever we do, it must enhance and deepen my peace of mind. Now Guruji has given 2 pointers here that what destroys our peace, that is more important. So one of the cause is desire, another cause is anger. Both are related. So the first cause of destroying our peace is desire. That means I should not have any desire. No. We must have a desire. We can have any number of desires, but we must not have insistence and resistance on the results of that desire. If I want to eat ice cream, I can eat ice cream, but that ice cream must be like this, must not be like this, that should be available in this time, that time, this person, that person. These are hundreds of insistences we have, then the whole purpose of having that desire is lost. Because God has God's plan. We must only do our actions and allow the planning to be done by God. Not that we should not do planning, but whatever we are going to get is God's wish and God's plan. Why desire is taken as one of the key which destroys the peace? Because when desires are there, if they are fulfilled, Then greed happens, lobha. When even those desires are fulfilled, then mada happens, arrogance. If desires are unfulfilled, then sadness happens, vishad. If there is obstruction in my desire that this is how it should happen in life, then it creates anger. So the second cause what Guruji has found out is, or given to us, is desire and anger. And now we are going to discuss on this, that these are our enemies in life. Nobody else is our enemy in life. No person is our enemy. My desire and my anger are our two big enemies, and we must take care of these enemies. They must not destroy our peace of mind. They must not destroy our health. They must not destroy our transactions. They must not destroy our relationships with people. They must not destroy our success, our prosperity, our harmony, our love, our happiness. All things are possible in life, what we want, if we manage our desire and anger. So we should not come in the sway of vices like desire and anger. This is what we saw last time. Why? Because they are the destroyers of our wealth. What is our wealth? Peace and discrimination. So, point number one, most valuable in our life is not money, not relationship, not people, not family, not job, not business, not any transactions what we do, but what is happening in my mind is most valuable to me. Once I conclude this in life, this is a resolve, then automatically I will start working on it. From spiritual point of view, also what goes from one body to another body is mind. Now, next life I will have a better mind? No chance. If I am not overcoming this anger, next life also I will have this anger in my mind. If I don't take charge of these desires and manage them, next life these desires are going to be multiplied, or we do not know what is going to happen to this desire and what desire, what body we will get. So from all perspectives, suppose we see entire sadhana what we have, what Gurudev mentions is tuning these two buttons on the radio to receive the signal from God. It destroys our peace of mind. It destroys our discrimination in life in what to do in this situation. So two very, very important pointers in life. Such beautiful sutras Guruji has given that once we go through this kind of Jivan Sutrani, we will never get confused what to do. We will be able to manage ourselves. Why? Because Guruji says that we must not lose it easily. Number one, from today, as today is very auspicious day, from today I will not allow anyone to hurt me, anyone to make me angry, anyone to disturb my peace of mind. And this resolve I have to do again and again. This is very important because normally we get into the blame game. You said like this, so I got irritated. You did like this, so I got angry. This happened, so it is justified for me to become sad. So earlier we have said in Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, one of the biggest enemy in our life is sadness. Now here Guruji is giving desire and anger. So basically two things come, sadness and anger, both are big enemies, both are created by desires. And that's the reason in the first Sthita Prajna Lakshan, Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan. When all desires are overcome, then Atman Deva Atmana Tushta. Then I can discover the source of happiness. So number one, I must not lose my wealth. What is my wealth? Peace and discrimination. These are very interesting, important points to note down. Second, I must not allow other people to loot it without my permission. I must not give other person, situation, object to disturb my peace of mind. This is, according to me, a very, very, very important sutra, because after reading so many scriptures and so much of sadhana and so much puja and so much travel and so many tirtha yatras, if small things are disturbing me, then what is the point of this sadhana? What is the point in going and doing all these things, and little dirt somewhere, little somebody says something, Guruji is going to give a list, and my mind is getting disturbed. So I must be alert and asking me that, is this the level I have reached after doing so much of japa, puja, sadhana, chanting, service? So that is one important point. Causes of mental peace, desire and anger. What is the result? So if you see in Tattva Bodh, we have read this, anything what we are discussing, suppose we understand the entire perspective, we must understand its nature, we must understand what is the cause, we must understand its effect, and we must know how it should be taken care of, how it should be changed. This is how a spiritual sadhak will look at life situations. What is the cause of this situation? What is the cause of this anger? What is the cause of this desire? Why? What is the effect of this desire if it is fulfilled? What is the effect of this desire if it is unfulfilled? Why am I getting angry? Why am I getting disturbed? Why am I getting agitated, frustrated, fearful, worried? Why small things are bothering me? My BP goes up so soon. All these things I must ask. Guruji gives this list: slightest provocation, a hint of insult, a minor discomfort, an imagined loss, a worry or desire, anger or jealousy disturbs our peace of mind, then I am not yet growing in spiritual sadhana as a spiritual seeker. Whatever God we are worshipping, God must be happy with our progress. God is saying that I am giving you tips how to check your progress, because you're praying to me, but then you're losing your temper so easily. Going in temple, we must not lose our temper. There also people lose temper in the temple. I know a couple of people who do puja for 2 hours, but their bell rings and some maid servant is late, and then something is happening. Entire puja punya goes away on that maid servant. Suddenly the temper goes up. So all these things Guruji has given: slightest provocation, hint of insult. No, somebody is insulting me. A little minor discomfort to the body when we are doing Tirtha Yatra. One of the things, why Narmada Parikrama people do, because all these things we face there, and then we have to go through that. So much of discomfort, there is no insult there because they're all respected, but all these things come up when we travel. What are the results of this? Once lost, it takes a lot of time and effort to regain it. This is what is one of the very important pointer what Guruji is giving, is that why we should not lose anger. Why we must not get angry, because once we get angry, irritated, agitated. Now, anger doesn't mean that shouting. There can be silent anger. Silent anger is more dangerous than shouting anger. Anger doesn't mean that I'm shouting and I'm, feeling. Anger means agitation. Swami Advainanji had said long time back, which I remember, that he had said that any agitation appearing in mind is our papa appearing as our thoughts. Because we have done papa or some karma, that is coming as agitation in the mind, because that agitation is taking me away from God, love, happiness, joy. So please consider that this agitation which is coming inside my mind is a papa effect. What is coming outside, we normally say what is coming outside. This person, this situation, this object, this event. And that we call as prarabdha. He said, no, that is one way to look at, that is gross, but subtle prarabdha is it appears as agitation in my mind. So very beautiful thought for subtle, deeper sadhaks is that any agitation coming in my mind, it is my papa manifesting in my mind, because otherwise this agitation will not come only. Peace will come, discrimination will increase, bliss will come. And once it is lost, it takes a lot of time, and that we all will agree. That once I get agitated, irritated, angry, one thing we must do, or one thing we must not do, we must not share it with others. At least we must stop sharing our anger, irritation, sadness to many people, whoever comes across, because whatever we share, it increases. One person you share, or you go and share with your pillow, or you share in the mirror and see how you listen. Can you listen to yourself? When you cannot tolerate your own anger, why you are vomiting on other people? If you want to vomit, you go in the bathroom. There is normally a mirror. Put on the tap, wash, and then shout and say how it sounds to you. Vomit your anger. If somebody is there, you want somebody in front of us, then talk there. So at least we must not share so many things which are bad, negative, angry, agitated, irritated, sadness, because it increases. And what these people will do by listening, they will say, poor bechara. And Swamiji says that some people are just begging sympathy, empathy, because that is the only way why they are sharing unhappiness. So one of the cause why people share more happiness, because that is the only way they want to get empathy. Poor, you're right. Poor you. I understand your life. You have gone through in life. This is what we are buying, actually speaking. Because nobody is going to empathize with me with anything, because there is no point. So we start creating all these stories which are very logical, like Arjun, which has lot of rational, which has lot of reason in the first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. And because there is Lord Krishna, I can understand 99% people will buy into these stories. So we must not get into all these stories again and again, because it will take a lot of time and effort to regain my mental peace, joy, happiness, health. When we lose it, we lose our discriminative ability, and that will lead up to our perishment. We will perish. As we have learned in Bhagavad Gita, the ladder of fall. It starts with brooding over sad things, brooding over agitated things, brooding over negative things. Then it leads to anger, it leads to lack of discrimination, it leads to perish. Because we will lose our ability to think, we will lose our intellect, and then we'll become an animal next life. Because the only differentiating faculty between a human being and animal is our intellect. If I lose my discriminating ability, and Gurudev always says that how can we know tamas in people? These people are always confused. Don't know what to do. Don't know how to handle a situation. How can I be perennially confused? That is a sign of tamas. How to understand tamas? Confusion. Conclusion, we must not trade off our peace of mind so easily in day-to-day transaction, whether it is our husband, wife, children, grandchildren, job, office, neighbors, nothing. Because with this peace of mind only I can know God, I can think about God, I can read Vedanta, I can do puja, I can do japa. Otherwise, if my mind is not peaceful, then what? No. When my mind is disturbed, I do puja, I do japa. Okay, that will help us. But suppose I develop a peace of mind, then that japa quality will increase. Tips. Number 1, ask, is it worth losing this anger? How long, how deeply I must get affected by day-to-day transactions in life? My life is not unique. So first of all, another sutra for most of us is that, no, my life is unique. Second, why me? I am only suffering. I am only going through this. This is one kind of big ignorance many people have, that whatever I am going through, I am only the person. There are hundreds and yugas have come and gone. So many people are going through the same thing. I am not unique. Actually, we are going from uniqueness to oneness. So what are the habits we must develop? Japa every day I must do. I must focus on my hobby. If I'm not able to make the hobby as my profession, then I must every day spend some time where I'm good at. Suppose writing skill, talking skill, painting, something 1 hour, 2 hours, I must use that particular time. That shifts. Scriptural study, puja, satsanga, help. These are all some tips you can add on the list. So this will help us to come back to our peace of mind because it has got lost. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Paresham chetasi cha tanno tan na utpadaye. Paresham chetasi cha tan na utpadaye.
So now Guruji is going further at, okay, my mind is at peace. I am little happy. If you ask people, it is very funny. Are you happy? Yeah, I am happy. Are you at? Yeah. But then whole day what we talk, we are basically talking negative. So here Guruji has gone one step ahead and given the third verse is that, okay, you are not agitated, you are not angry, you are not irritated, but then don't give it rise in other people's mind. Don't create this kind of things in other people's mind. So we must ask this question. With my presence, what am I adding to people's lives there? What am I contributing to their body? What am I contributing to their mind? One must be sensitive with our words and actions. What am I adding when I'm transacting with people? Whether people are getting more worried, more fearful, more tensed, more bored. That also is one thing, one important one, that at least I must be sensitive enough to understand whether other people are getting bored with my presence, bored with my words, and the story starts. Everybody is having so many stories to share than events. Actually, this is very, very, very important how we transact, what we talk with people. Somebody says, I went to Taj Mahal, I saw this. Another person says, I also went and then saw this. Then I also went and then, who is listening? Okay, at least listen and complete that job. Actually, most of us are not interested in what is happening in other person's life. Okay, little bit here and there gossip is okay, but who is interested to know my stories actually, other than God maybe? What am I causing in others is one important question Guruji is asking us to ponder upon. When I meet others, what am I causing in others? Irritation, boredom, anger, frustration. Actually, suppose I must go and stand in the mirror and tell my story to myself and ask what is happening to me. If this is happening to me, it would be happening to others. If I cannot enjoy my own presence, why to inflict on others? Gurudev's one very important Mahavakya. Desire, this is another one I forgot. Some people go and create desires in others. I have created this desire in many people where I talked about some restaurant. Many of our sadhaks in Saraswati Vidyalaya, once they went and I saw 4 or 5 of them went in that Mani's restaurant. Now Mani's restaurant has come in Ghatkopar also. We did not come to Chembur. Earlier, Chemburites were very this thing. We have Mani's restaurant. Now we have got in Ghatkopar. So what am I creating? This movie is very nice. This food is very nice. This hotel is very nice. This place is very nice. This shop is very nice. So I'm creating desire in another person. Actually, this is so true, is that when we hear from 3-4 people, that desire starts coming. Actually, kuch thought hi nahi rehta ki idhar jana hai mall mein. Then suddenly 3-4, that sale is there. Then suddenly that desire comes. So that's the reason one of the important thing we must ask that what kind of desires I am creating in them, whether it is for moksha, for God, for japa, for puja, for yatra, for peace of mind or service or what, or I'm creating worldly desires. So all spiritual sadhaks who are in Vedanta Chinmaya mission, they must ensure that in every transaction we must pray to God is that Bhagwan, okay, I am irritated, I am frustrated, but I must not irritate others. I must not create anger in others. I must actually create desire for this knowledge. That is one of the best things we can do because all of you are attending so many classes. One of the trick is that whenever we interact, we must stop our story We must ask that what am I sharing? 5-7 minutes, ठीक है, थोड़ा मजा आएगा. Not that it should be too dry about Vedanta, God, Maya all the time. We must have all that fun. But slowly, subtly, the other person must go back and say, this person is so happy, this person is so joyous, this person is so well read, I must also. So one of the thing what I'm creating in corporate as a culture is that if somebody asks us, how are you? For last 20 years, I've been telling them, you say happy. And most of the time when you say I'm happy, the other person becomes silent, because many people, most of us do not know how to deal with a happy person. We know how to deal with a person who is frustrated, irritated, chal raha hai, ye problem, wo problem. How are you? Thak gayi. Lot of work. I went yesterday. How are you? The person starts the story. You know what happened in the morning, then this happened. But I just ask you, how are you? Not how was your day? Because we are going to drop that question, how was your day? Because Guruji is going to take up further verses to us. We must never ask a person, how was your day? Because the person may start stories. No, the person may start about months and years, and then sad stories only start. Very few people can actually share for whole time joyous stories. Very, very important pointers, Wherever they go, there are two types of people. Wherever they go, they spread cheer and happiness. Second type, wherever they are not there, there is cheer and happiness. This is one sadhana I must take, According to me, this would be a difficult sadhana than going to temples and visiting gods and yatra. That is also important, we must do. But everyday sadhana is these transactions, what we are doing with our husband, wife, children, grandchildren. With my presence, the other person must feel motivated, inspired, joyous, knowledge. Okay, knowledge we cannot add, happiness we cannot add, but at least the person must not get bored, frustrated, irritated. At least that much we must try from today. If you are doing great, but this I must be careful that what am I contributing to others in their mind, because now we have to train our mind. How should I do that? Next verse.
Verse 4. Shraddha Bhakti Adi Gunan Samvardhayet Anyesham Hridi Cha Janayet. Shraddha Bhakti Adi Gunan Samvardhayet Anyesham Hridi Cha Janayet.
I always mention about this one friend whom I look forward to meet. Manisha knows him. Yesterday also I met him today morning. You talk to him anything. Normally the current trend is so much of traffic. If you say so much of traffic, he will say, no, but you see this metros will be done now. It will be very nice. And then he will say this, oh, so nice development is happening. Nice buildings are coming. Oh, this road is they are making. Something he will find which is positive what is happening. I always admire this quality in people that, when we walk, when we are going in the market, when we are living, so much of negative things we spot and tell कि ये बराबर नहीं, वो बराबर नहीं, कितना traffic है, कितना गंदगी है, कितना pollution है nowadays. That is a common topic. So much of pollution on the road. But there are also good things happening. I must be able to notice it. I must be able to, that story is always very nice to say, but these stories I must bring into practice that, whether the glass is full, glass is empty. Whatever you say to him, today morning he was saying so much of development, and another person was saying, kitna dhool hai, so much of construction coming. He says, so much of development is coming. Suddenly the whole atmosphere changes, suddenly the mindset changes. And he had gone out and his hand got fractured. He is having this hand like this. So when people are asking, he says, no, I just slipped, thank God, other hand didn't get fractured. This is what he's replying here. One person came to Guruji, what happened? His hand also was fractured. Now I remember that story. Hand got fractured, Guruji, 1 month I cannot do this, I cannot go office. What is my mistake, Guruji? Why God is doing this to me? Why he made me fell down from this scooter? Why me only? Guruji, so much of pain, so much of suffering for me, so much of this thing, then Guruji told him, what bad I did so that, I fell down from scooter and, I had this hand fracture and these things are happening in my life. Guruji asked him one question, what good you did that you were saved? You could have died also. Person kept quiet. That is the truth thing. Why? What bad I did? Why this is happening? Arey Baba, so many things are happening. So we must, which are good. So he asked him, Guruji asked him, what good you did that you got saved? You could have died also. At least thank God that you got saved. Thank God that only one fracture. Thank God you are able to walk. Thank God you are coming here. Thank God you are talking to me. Thank God. Why are you spreading all this kind of suffering with others? Why me? Why me? What happened to me? What bad I did? Why God? Don't ever doubt God's will. What we can do? Exactly opposite we can do, create faith. No, things will happen. Things are happening well. Another pointer which is fashion. Those who are little spiritually read well, Kali Yuga started. Kali Yuga started. This is all part of Kali Yuga. We do not know anything about yogas. Just we have read in some Bhagavad. What we have to create is faith and devotion in people. Devotion for God, faith in scriptures, teacher, and that must come out of my behavior, action, and words. We must create dispassion. We must create faith. We must create compassion. So these are possibilities of creating. I can share with people, okay, last 1 year I was working, but now I have given up tea. Last 5 years I have been working, but now I don't get angry as I was getting earlier. These are the ways to create that faith. How you did? No. I have been attending this class and I've been reading. It was a tough journey for me, but slowly I'm giving up. So once I start sharing this, these people will get interested. So what Guruji is saying is that we have a choice. How we are transacting, especially those who are in service of God, service of mission. This is not done because God wants or mission wants. This is for my own chitta shuddhi, peace of mind. I again and again remind myself that whatever I am doing in Chinmaya mission or anywhere else, it is for my own need. Not that Chinmaya mission needs or God needs or Gurudev needs or this person needs or, without me it will not happen. This is for my own chitta shuddhi. So that we know, there is a small boy's video. Maybe after this session we will share. Whatever we practice, whatever we have, we give. So peaceful person spreads peace, angry person will spread anger. Irritated person will spread irritation. A person who is having lot of desires will spread lot of desires. A person with scriptural knowledge will spread scriptural knowledge. So what is the sadhana we have to do? Spread noble values by our own behavior, spread self-knowledge, spread devotion, spread faith. Anybody is talking to us, say, no, everything is going to be all right. Ramana Maharshi's favorite dialogue was, at the end, everything will be all right. If you have read Ramana Maharshi's various books and transactions. What else? Thank God, at least people are not coming to us and asking, but just imagine hundreds of people coming to saints and telling their sad stories. What they can say? Everything is going to be all right at the end, because at the end we will realize our own nature. This is highest service. So one of the service what we can do, we don't have to do lots of service and go out and do one service from today. This is one of the best service we can start from Holy Day. Every transaction what we are going to have with a situation, person, object, that transaction must create peace. That transaction must create nobility. That transaction must create desire for this knowledge, desire to see God. Something noble happens where we create in the other person, and we may fail 100 times, but we must have this resolve. We must not give up this resolve, because that is a secret of getting married. That is the secret of doing job and business. Every transaction we must do this. In however people trouble us, we know the saint, 100 times the person spat on him, 100 times he took bath and then thanked him. In one transaction, he changed the person. Sutra. In every transaction, I do not get disturbed, nor do I disturb others. That is a sutra given by Guruji. Extremely important, because if we practice this, God will come and give us enlightenment. Moksha. And people must feel happy with our presence. And when they will feel happy with my presence, when I am happy with my presence. So we must try this, that stay alone for some time without mobile, without TV, and just sit. Actually, this we must try. Sometime I must sit for an hour, 2 hours, half a day, not doing anything. There is nothing to do, nothing to go, nothing to become, nothing to desire, nothing to go anywhere, nothing to come back, nothing to share, nothing to receive, nothing to give. Na pana, na khona, bas magan mein rehna. Kabir says. So, okay, he is talking from highest point of view, but that becomes our sadhana, at least 1 hour, 5 minutes. And slowly, I start discovering my presence, and then my presence becomes harmonious with my nature, and slowly people will also start finding it. Not for others we have to do, but for my own thing. It's a spiritual sadhana. Next sutra. Okay, now before we go to the next sutra, I think we'll go next time. Next sutra, according to me, is extremely important, because Guruji is saying is that our life must be a continuous learning process. That is the next sutra. Now we will analyze that sutra. I personally like this sutra very much. So before that, let's have one story and some little background, and we will take the sutra next time. So what is the sutra? Life must be a continuous learning experience. So there was this person, he was very rich, and he had a 5 to 7 year old son or daughter, child. And one day he thought that let me take the child to show poverty, because the child will realize how grateful and how lucky he is that he has got birth in this house. So the father took this child, and both of them went for a trek. They stayed in a village and they traveled. And father ensured that he sees poor people, he sees poverty in the village, etc. And his expectation was that the child will see poor people and then share him what his learnings are. So they come back home, and they're sitting in their big bungalow, posh bungalow in a garden, maybe having juice after coming back with 2-3 days trip where the father has planned. But his intention is this, that the child must see poverty, poor people, and come back. And then he asks this question, and this story I have been knowing for the last 15-20 years, which I share, but now I have written it down because this is a wonderful story. The father asks his son, okay, what did you learn from this trip? The child starts. The son said, Dad, I saw that we have 1 dog, they had 3. We have a swimming pool that reaches to the middle of the garden. And they have a river that has no end. We have electric bulbs in our garden, but they have stars at night, because they were sleeping all at night without any house, because poor people sleep on the road in the village, outside in the ground. Our patio reaches to the front yard, and they have the whole horizon, because poor people have no jhopdi also. We have a small piece of land to live, and they have fields which go beyond our sight. We have servants who serve us, but they serve others. We buy our food, but they grow theirs. We have walls around our property to protect, but they have friends to protect. We spend our free time with television and mobiles. They spend their time with family and relatives. The son summed up his experience on the trip to the village. Thanks, Dad, for showing me how poor we are. I think this is one of my favorite stories because this can be linked to various concepts in Vedanta, that how the world is and how am I perceiving it and what am I concluding it. Conclusion is what? That is more important. Yatha drushti tatha surushti. So very, very important. There are so many incidences happening outside in my life, pleasant, unpleasant, bad, good. Ultimately, what is important in life is that what is my conclusion? How am I perceiving this? And what is my interpretation of what is happening outside? So once Gurudev was asked this question, Gurudev, why do we take birth? What is the purpose of why I have taken birth? Why people take birth? Why people are born, first of all? Why do we take birth only? Suppose we wouldn't have taken birth only, what would have happened? That I keep asking many times. Suppose I would have taken birth only, what would have happened? And suppose I exit from this planet or disappear from this planet, what will happen? Nothing. But this person asks, Gurudev, why do we take birth? Real, huh? Gurudev answered him the question with his, style. Why do you go for a movie? The person told, I go for a movie for entertainment, enjoyment. And then because Gurudev was, he said, entertain, enjoyment or learning. He said, that is the only reason why we take birth. So I think one answer we have got today on this holy day, why have I taken birth? Either I am enjoying or getting entertained by this vast variety of things what God has given, or I am learning from my pleasant or unpleasant experiences. So there are two things constantly happening. Either we are enjoying or we are learning, and these two are important. Please, I think this is one of the best sutras to remember, that whatever experience we are having in life, either the experience can be pleasant or unpleasant. The result can be unpleasant, pleasant, that is the outer one. What I got. Inner result also is happening, that who I am becoming as a person. After every experience, there are people who, after a bad experience, they have become great. That Arunima Chaudhary was thrown out of the train, both legs gone, 24 fractures in the leg and spinal cord. And then when she was asked by the doctor in Delhi AIMS hospital, 19-year-old who was a national basketball player, what will you do with your life now, Arunima? She told, I will climb Mount Everest. How can she say on the bed with one leg, artificial leg, that I will climb Mount Everest? With such a bad experience, another person would have cursed life. Why me? At 19-year-old, I'm going to give exam because she wanted to join special forces. And now she is lying on the bed, and this question is very important, what doctor asked her. Arunima, what will you do with your life now? She told, I will climb Mount Everest. And then she called up there who had climbed the first woman. And that woman told, you have already climbed in your mind. It's only in the body. And then next time, if you want to see the photograph, we will put up. So depends upon what is my learning, what is my conclusion of the experience, what I'm having. Experience is not something that happens to me. Experience is something, how I respond and how I react, what happens inside. Experience is an inner game, thought generated. Stimuli only comes from outside, but the response and the reaction comes from my thoughts. So what is the nature of my thought? What is the quality of my thought? What have I concluded? So this sentence is very important before we close today's session. What is my conclusion in life? How have I perceived things? After having long family life, what is my conclusion about family life? After having job and business, what is my conclusion about job and business? After living 30, 40, 50, 60 years, Guruji is going to take up this verse. One sutra that by every experience, I must become sweeter and sweeter, not bitter and bitter. And that depends upon us. So this world is made up of pleasant and unpleasant experiences, not to make us sad, angry, bitter, but day by day, my love for God, my love for this knowledge, my love for moksha, my love for understanding the purpose has to go up. So that we will take up next time. Next class is going to be very interesting because I got one new questionnaire to ask. What is the experience and what is the learning? So I got this tip from this and I've created maybe 7, 8 things, but next time we will ask you to share. So I'm just preparing you. What is a learning from a bad experience? What is a learning from a good experience? So that is Guruji wants us to focus on, not on the experience. So that exercise we will do next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om.
Manisha, have you unmuted all?
No, there was the bell rang, na? 1 minute, I'll do it. Or you can do it.
Where is it? Yes. Yes. Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you, sir. Prasad, sir.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Thank you, Prasad
Hari
sir.
Om, sir. Thank
Hari
you.
Om.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you,
Yoga.
Prasad Bhaiya.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
I can see a lot of disturbance here.
Hmm.